But I mean, personally, I would be a lot much more, happier if people had a stronger intellect of where they saw things to be, where they actually supported evolution. They actually supported, the black hole coming into space, where basically nothing can create something, and science had given us the human evolutionary ability to get more, interacted with how things in this world is to be built on, rather than looking at a book for well over 6,000 years, and you're just bullshitting you're basically bullshitting your cause to be a total prick. And I think that is so dishonest, and it's really, disgusting, because, take a look at it. There's only two types of civilizations that you could have in this world, and it's one being a secular nation, or being a theocracy or a theocratic nation, which, there are other terms for it, which, you could call it a theocratic democracy, or you could call it a dictatorship nation. But no, but that's just too many terms, because we just know how the concept of freedom was built, because before freedom we had kingdom. So my whole view is how come that when we say that religion is needed, how come that we have "in God we trust" in our coins, our dollars, almost literally everything that you see, is God, and is God inspired? But I just feel like that is such a waste of time, and it's so fucking annoying, because it's you have so many people that have basically died under under many horrible cases through evil oppressing faiths, and nobody has ever been given the true granted freedom under God's name, which no, not even freedom, it's just the true paradise of what they want to see out of heaven, which I know for any believers out there, you want to say that you want to see a heaven after earth, which you think that there will be something after you die. But in all honesty, no, you're not gonna fucking see it. I mean, sad, part to say this, but, when I was in a near-death experience, I was not, trying to think, oh, hey, was God going to save me when I cracked my head open? No, I fucking cracked my head open when I was when I was a little kid. And lucky enough for me, science had given me a second chance at life, because I was able to be strong enough to deal with trauma and damage, to my, a death-prone injury, and that is what allowed me to, be more prominent to, certain dangers that I was able to find myself in a better, understanding. Because I mean, if anything, it's not a blessing to say that somebody is mentally disabled because they got into a car accident, so God had saved them to be healed for... No. That is really disrespectful, and that is so condescending. You need to respect humans as humans, and don't just, try to puppet them like fucking dogs. In my honest opinion, you should not put people under this pedestal to make them feel like that they're just worthless, puppeted fags, and... that's just something to kind of discomfort people's lives, because nobody's not, how should I say it? Nobody's not being treated fairly. Take a look at it with countries like Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, literally the whole Middle East, Asia, and fucking Africa. They're all crappy nations. These people don't give a fuck about each other. And I mean, that's why when I even mentioned Japan, I'm, actually, happy that, for a nation that has different views than other people, I don't know. Because personally, I would not want to think that there is that many issues that you could literally put out to the fucking table to say, hey, I want to, find change within my society or my country, because I am a natural human world citizen, which you should take pride and be proud for who you are. Just don't fucking listen to haters and tell people why you stand for these causes, but understand that you should have a universal, feeling and care for people that, are being viewed a horrible way, which I think that's like the biggest problem. And personally, to me, like, I don't think I've mentioned this in the live stream, but I think that when people look at culture, it is so comparable to their religious faith, because many people want to be drawn into a lying, yeah, basically a lying game, and say after you die you will be healed by God's name. So can you explain to me how is this going to work while people are being killed, in the name of God, and then you're going to, like, apologize for all the crimes that have been committed by your people, which that's mostly coming from Islam rather than Christianity, if we want to get serious. But, in my honest, like, opinion, like, do I need to really say that we need to respect people's beliefs? Because in my definition of what I see the word belief, that is a claim that is being stated without any evidence until proven of its presence. So what people are saying is just total horseshit, and I actually wanted to include this in the live stream tonight. But to my own standard, I really don't really believe evidence. I actually support evidence, which I think that when most people say that they believe in something, you have to have some sort of claim of what that belief really alters to, which I think this is where people that are centrist or any type of political person you are, whether if you're liberal or a conservative, and you try to stand to this cultist type bullshit where you try to be so, repressive and also regressive too, because you don't want to talk about any issues except for your own issues. So that's something in which you have placed that on yourself, and that is a problem for those that want to find a solution to society to grow, which I think it is really bad, due to the matter that, we have a society that humans are building, different levels of, of intelligence, and those societies are, obviously first class, second class, and third class, nations. But, how did these nations, form out to be how they did form to be? Was it because of their race, or was it because of their fucking religion, or was it because that they actually unified and they actually gone, over the problems of what they've, battled and combated over, and they fought for the rights and freedoms for people to live? Which, before we get into that, my concept of how I see freedom is that, which I'm not gonna sound like a fucking ANCAP or more so a fucking, anarchist or a fucking libertarian on this, but I think freedom to me is kind of like the evolution of kingdom, where people who say that you do have a free life, people are not giving you the actual truth of what your life is being free. So to kind of break down freedom, I think in my own view, you're free until you actually break the law, and then your freedom is taken away, which I understand about that, but I think in the concept of how I see it with free is that humans should be accepted for who they are. Humans should not be labeled into this social class, barrier system where everybody is living in a divisive government, where government has the full authority to apprehend and put you under treason for something that you didn't do, and then you use that type of oppressive force to be, a total dipshit, and you think it's right because you're the big evil government that everybody is so afraid about. But no, it's just that the people that are running with the fucking legislative authority, because I think in our human evolution of how we see things is that we had strongly evolved, our hidden, religious concept with politics. And this is why that I hate politics, because every politician, almost every politician that I even talk to, or no, not talk to, but that I even hear, they're mostly fucking religious, and I'm just like basically hearing these assholes like fucking talk their asses off, and especially with guys like Trump. I mean, yeah, granted, like the guy's kind of funny here and there, but I mean, dude, he's not even that fucking smart, and like this guy's a fucking total joke to be our president. And I mean, personally to me, I could live a better life with a much smarter conservative president. Like, I don't fucking know, maybe I could go 4 years with, I don't even know. You know, like, mostly conservatives don't really interest me because I don't really see the issue of having guns, but I do see the issue of where they're going to go with healthcare and other bullshit that I don't like to see when it comes down to money, businesses, trying to receive like your fair share of stocks, and basically things of that nature. Because I think personally to me, when I was growing up, most of my ideas are very liberal. And I'm not a liberal by any means. I don't really think that there should be any limitation. Well, no, there should be limitations on owning a gun, but not everybody should have their gun taken away. I think that, you know, with the stupidity of what humans are, they will try to find some sort of weapon to overpower the individual that they're going after. Which, personally to me, I think politics should really be, you know, goodbye and good riddance, because, you know, for guys that I do like AIU and Nightmare, or, you know, like my niggas, you know, that I ride and die, you know, till I die, yeah, you know, double DOG, nigga, you know, logic all day, boy, you know, fuck out of here if you don't like me, but, ATS gang, let's go, Logic 4.0, gang, in the hollows, nigga, ideals, 247, 518, bitch. No, but, you know, how I really see it with guys like them, and versus other, you know, good atheist YouTubers like, that one guy called them Autopsy, right? I'm not so sure how to pronounce his name, but, like, he's a conservative atheist, I want to say, and I think he did support Trump by any means, but, you know, I could probably go off on a better, you know, atheist conservative YouTuber, which I forgot another one. Shit, I'm trying to think. Who's that other guy? Damn. Oh, well, yeah, I could go with Armor Skeptic, because he's not really liberal. He's an alt... No, he's not an alt-right centrist. Well, actually, no, he did have a few bits and pieces of being alt-right, but no, I'll go with, like, Tree of Logic, just to be easy. But, no, for Tree of Logic, along with, damn, who was, like, the other one? Shit, I'm trying to think right now, I'm so sorry. Tree of Logic, and, Autopsy, yeah. Yeah, basically, for YouTubers like that, I don't have a problem with that, because I think that there needs to be issues to be exposed both on left-right leading problems, but my problems with political, you know, ideologies mixing in with atheism, a lot of people get very, you know, concerned about, oh, how the atheist movement is, and how we act, and how we talk, and how we, you know, interact with people, like as if, oh, like, we're trying to kill each other, we're trying to be, like, a bunch of, you know, little pussy-ass crybabies, and we don't really identify as much atheists, to say that we are atheists, because, you know, we mostly say that we're, agnostic, which I just think that's totally pussy, because, yes, there are a good number of atheists that try to be pussy enough to say, oh, I'm atheist, but I don't know if there is a God. No. You're gonna say that there is no God, or there is a God. I think that is the best logic that you can say, because atheist logic is a thing, but Christian logic, that's a fallacy. So, you know, like within the terms of logic, that's coming in a algorithmic mathematical statement to show how reality should be. And then you use a scientific observation to ability-wise find the true coherence of nature, to understand your roots of who you are. Don't be afraid. You need to express people's minds, well, with your mind too, because your brain is helping you gain more intelligence on what you're trying to do, and you shouldn't have to be afraid by any means, because you have a voice, and humans are not toys. We're not like killing machines, which most people would probably think that we are, because they're so inherited with their fucking religion. And I mean, I know that's really well, I don't know if that's really condescending, but sorry, just to hurt people's feelings, like as if I need to be blasphemized, but no, fuck you. I just think that humans can really overcome the idea of being put into a religious, purged society, where people are just afraid for what they're doing, and you're just not being taken into effect for who you are. Literally, take a look at all these countries that are not doing good under their religions, but versus the ones that are growing with atheism. You can understand that fucking Super Saiyan's coming through, nigga. Them niggas are getting smarter every day, nigga. Take a look at Finland. Take a look at places like Scotland. Well, no. I don't know about Scotland. No, build a wall. Yeah, people call me transporter right off the bat. But, I just know worldwide atheism will come to people's senses, but it's not a psychological disorder. I don't know why people, especially when I even debated with Darth, which I should have recorded that shit, but I wasn't thinking. I wasn't really doing too much with that. But, he was trying to say to me, oh, it was like a psychological disorder to think that I'm an atheist, but he tried to refute me back to say that I'm agnostic. But I'm like, dude, I know that there's no fucking God. Reality-wise, you could try to tell me that I am agnostic, because I don't know if we're living in a chance universe versus a universe governed by law, which I will most likely say that we are governed by law, because without having, any type of trial and error through science, we wouldn't really know how gravity works, along with, friction, basically all the things that scientists have worked hard to fuck up in order to find a good possible answer, to find the true basis of how, Earth works, which I'd say that's perfect. I don't have free speech. But at the end of the day, you need to be mindful and know that there are certain things in this world that you can't control, and these things have been built upon themselves, rather than having the creator or the so-called supernatural God being to come out and actually build it on its own. And I like to even know, how did all the energy form? How can so much capacity and how much element of basically, God-made creator, abilities can spawn, literally, the influence of, scientific creations that were built by people, not him. So, if you could explain to me how, the streetlight was built by a supernatural, that would be something that would be totally impossible, but no, I'm willing to hear that. And that's what, it all takes. It just takes a simple question of, how do certain things work in this world? But no, I understand why creationists try to do that, because they literally try to look at how the world is shaped to be, because they think that with the power of God, it needs to have a certain type of, outcome of where, certain things needs to be placed for, or how it's being formed. Which I think that is total horseshit, because comparing Genesis out of the Bible versus how the Quran states it, and the Torah, and the what the fuck is that Hindu book called? But no, I'll just call it the Hindu holy book. The Hindu holy book. Hindu holy book. Avidamat. Avidamat. No. But that's just very funny, because it's you know, you do understand that, you know, most of this shit is created by the earth itself, so at least have the common decency to say that the earth has its power to morph things like out of its own, you know, kinetic energy, which I know, yes, I know for all you science lovers out there, kinetic energy is wow, that definition has been so high school for me, and I gotta research that definition. But to give it my best explanation, I want to say those are objects that are formed by force, or that are moved by force through its objective, wow, yeah, objective physical energy, yes, something like that. But I'll do more research on that, you know, and bring that up in a later live stream, because I know that I probably am tired because I just got back home not less than 40 minutes ago from Wendy's, so I just wanted to kind of, you know, talk because I just love YouTube, but YouTube's just being a regressive bitch, so I kind of do fear if my channel does get taken down because you got so many haters out here trying to enforce their fucking beliefs to say, you know, free speech is only for fucking, you know, belief systems. No, fuck out of here, nigga. No. You know, I have my own fucking free speech, you have yours. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you have yours, but you know, for you to, you know, censor me and try to say that I can't get monetized because I make a good video out of, you know, oh wow. Like basically, like for videos like my Muslim video, you know, like the Muslim, yeah, what do Muslims think of atheists? That video, I probably want to say would never get monetized because I would probably like assume that due to like the level of how things go within, you know, that community of who oversees it, people would try to flag that right away and say, oh, that video was rated, oh, that's just so disrespectful. Well, hey dipshit, there's a thing called free speech and I'm allowed to do that. And this is what, you know, that the secular world does. You don't just act like a pussy on things. You actually speak your fucking mind out. So that's what you do in order to find peace amongst people that you want to, you know, try to come to terms with. But I mean, you know, this is why, you know, here out, like within like the West, you know, we have seen a ton of regression. And I feel like due to a certain, you know, time of manner, that people will try their best to, you know, defend beliefs, and they don't even know what these beliefs do. That's why they defend them. So when you do that, that's what creates like the bullshit, you know, false equivalence, and then people don't want to talk to you. So why, you know, in 2017 that we are now trying to go backwards and literally push us into a fucking 14th century barbaric age, where we could do that, but I mean, I really don't think it would really happen, because due to that manner, if that ever did happen, that would be horrible, and that would be something in which I don't think anybody would ever want to, you know, try to survive doing, because, you know, people may hate a lot of things out of a first-class nation like America, but I mean, to be honest, like, you guys should really be lucky to live here. I'm not trying to sound like a Trump supporter on this, or, you know, any type of, well, no, people would call me a coon, because you'd be like, oh, you're just supporting out for white man's land. Well, I'm sorry, the very first person to die in the U.S.-American Revolution was a black man, and he was a runaway slave, so, yeah, I don't want to hear that bullshit. To which you say white people are like my daddies, so I need to stick up, you know, for them trying to create everything for me, and I need to suck their dicks. No, fuck that. No disrespect. I fucking love white people. Guys like Devin Tracy, Jay Tana, Nigga Fuel. No, just kidding. Nightmare, my nigga Fuel. Oh, what? Nah, Nightmare Fuel. But, yeah, you know, it's just typical love, and I'd say that America was built on a lot of races, but, you know, majority of our country of progression was white, and, you know, like, I have no problem with that, you know, like, I really do respect the fact that, we have built unity amongst our people, but it took a while because we had like a lot of bad people that were influenced by religion. Because I would like to say at some point in time religion will try to take over, but not everywhere in the world would be religious infuriated or religious in the religiously influenced. Yeah, sorry for my dictionary fuck ups, but I just think due to that manner, that will teach us as humans that after we fuck up, we could try to make nations way better than for what we are right now, and stop purging the fact that we need to have an all-out war, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's where everybody is getting like the wrong message, because they want to call like America like the most racist country, but like, do you realize that, like after the Civil War, those records came out to be much higher in whites dying for whites being slaves and blacks being slaves, Asians being slaves, yada yada yada. People were all being killed, left and right. It doesn't matter what race you are. But personally, if you want to talk about segregation, oh no, white people were being segregated by other white people. Like, wouldn't you think if you're gay and you're white, down south, you would automatically get your ass fucked over because you didn't have any, basically, like during like the 50s and 60s leading up until, the late 70s, white people, more, southern, influence has been guided through, just inbounds, religious, Jim Crow fuck up laws, and that's what made, like, the South's freedom more fucked up and more just disbanded, because everybody were basically more people were being separatists, and there was no room for improvement, like, because like the South had purged like that many people to hate one another and try to give out a much more larger gap for black people and white people to have this type of hatred to be spilling on their land. Along with Asians, Native Americans, or I basically call them like American Indians, I guess, but I'll just say Native Americans just to be, just to be clear, because it's kind of normal in my vocabulary to say Native American, but technically Native Americans is kind of like a fake word, almost equivalent to African American, which I do want to get really deep and touchy onto that subject, because I really do think African American is really fake. It's more so like a scamming word, and it gets people to be in this pedestal of thinking that we all need to be labeled a certain way, and it's just something in which that is going to be hurting us for quite a long time, and it's like, no, fuck that, we can get over this. And I mean, I just say this because I care about my people as well as you should care about your people. If you're from Iceland, yes, much love to Iceland, beautiful nation. I want to say they are a successful atheist nation, but I don't know. A lot of people are trying to tell me, atheism is equivalent to communism and socialism. Get the fuck out of here. I want to say Iceland is capitalist. Yeah, they have to be. That's what I'm saying. That small of like a country, I mean, yeah, they can be socialist, but I mean, it doesn't, like, yes, it matters what, economical, process that you do in a nation, but, as far as, like, unity and keeping people together, and obviously for them being that small, yeah, like, that is a huge improvement in, defeating theocratic, states versus having a successful secular state, which we have already proven that in history, as well with, bigger nations that are trying to use secularism all over. Yeah, that's perfect, because who needs to have this separation and divide when we know ourselves that we are winning. Secularism has been winning. And this isn't even for any evil, demise. Like, I mean, this is why we as humans had evolved in a certain way to put, put an end to our fantasized beliefs and not have it, affect reality. And I mean, when you take a look at, like America's history, like, we are a secular nation. Like, literally, everything that you've seen bad, we found that solution because we wanted, the best for our people. We didn't want people going out back to their homes wanting to kill one another. And that's why, yes, problems still yet to this day remain, but it's because that families have been inspired so effing bad, which this is mostly coming from like the black community, because they can't seem to shut their fucking mouths up, like when it comes down to race. But I mean, literally, this is no disrespect. This is all up to black people, but you need to get over slavery. Not all black people came to America as a slave. That is so derogatory, and that is so effing racist, like through its own word. You're literally being condescendingly racist to black people to say to the Africans, hey, you only came to America as a slave, but but it doesn't matter, blacks, because Middle Easterns never owned slaves, we didn't own slaves. No, only white people owned slaves. So, numbers wise, white people had least amount of slaves owned, in America. So blacks technically owned more than whites. But no, just think that white people, they've always had slaves. Oh, and think about, their religion too, because like the white man God was totally different from our God, where we thought Jesus was black. Which, it's just total horseshit. And I mean, even when I talked with, even when I had arguments with, like, my coworker, over at Wendy's, when she was trying to tell me, oh, Jesus was real, and I told her, no, he's not. And then again, like, why would you try to say that there's some sort of credence to say that, like, the Bible gives you a connection with how everybody is, universally happy that Jesus died for your sins. Well, clearly, there has been many people dead under, the Christian faith. And, as well with being enslaved and being fucking tortured for, like, a fucking, eternity. So, Islam has done way worse because these motherfuckers want a bloodbath rather than being peaceful. So, I mean, when you really take a look at it, Islam is doing more fucking damage because they have more power, over their people. In which I do want to say that atheism had, given them like a little hard blow to their fucking balls. But I mean, most of their power is Muslim dominated, which I would like to see the Middle East grow out of that bullshit, because they're just literally acting like children. They don't have any, room for, discussion. They always want Islam taking over, and they just probably think that is something that they will live by for the rest of their lives, like as if, religion's gonna be here forever. Yeah, fuck out of here. And good luck with that when, science, once again saves your ass, when there's like another black plague. Which I just say that, no, fuck that, because I really don't need to, try to think that, we need to be, put into this little room, like we're in timeout or something, and we just need to, we need to express ourselves in such a fake way. And it's like, dude, literally, grow the fuck up. If you really think Noah's Ark is that true, literally, I dare you to go out to the wild and get all these fucking animals that you so-called claimed and bring them out to fucking Australia. And let's just see how these animals would get along. I don't think giraffes would ever get along with a fucking honey badger. Where honey badgers, they're the most violent, mammal. Well, they're not like the number one most violent mammal, but they're literally a fucking tyrant when it comes to killing. They will kill anything that's around them. They're extremely vicious. They have no respect for you, and they are only tribalistic. They're only tribalistically peaceful to their own kind, which I would probably say they would still kill other honey badgers. So it depends on what type of honey badger, that they fuck with. So that just comes to show that evolution had now proved, over religion, that is way stronger to show, the actuality of of animal preservance and, you know, respecting, you know, the animal world, you know, in much better ways in which animals have had given respect for a great long time. But I mean, you know, they still need to eat at the end of the day, so they have to come after other animals to, you know, like, you know, eat them, and they naturally live better. But I mean, yeah, it sucks for a animal to die. Which that's another question that I'll bring into this, you know, like into this, you know, discussion or hangout. Like, why are most believers like afraid to die? That's literally something that I could, you know, like tear down within seconds. But I mean, back to what I was talking about. You know, it's just kind of funny in which you just see, you know, the level of, you know, cognitive dissonance of how, you know, the religiosity inspires, you know, the human mind, and it turns into a cesspool of haters, in which people don't want to talk about these haters, in which they want to keep them. And I think it's really funny because, you know, when you do take a look at, you know, the level of intelligence that people have, I would like to really do support that non-believers do have like the one-up over believers, because, you know, you're actually taking your time into what you read, or what you inject into information. But, you know, deep down, that when somebody mentions a Bible connection to say, hey, well, this is why your life is like this, but, you know, it needs to be repented through God's sins, which, that's just horseshit. But I mean, you know, well, that would go like the same way if you're, you know, defeating with a Jew or Hindu or Christian. Yeah, basically all fucking religions. Like, I don't give a fuck. But I mean, it's just so effing annoying, bro. Like, you can literally hear it, you know, in people's, in people's voices that they don't want to talk like this, but they choose to do it because they know that they're just acting like a complete dumbass. And I mean, personally with me, I just don't think that guys like Malcolm X is very inspirational for the black community, because he's, you know, literally like the one to inspire those, you know, so-called awesome Muslim blacks into being a tribalistic piece of shit asshole gang members. And I mean, he doesn't have any credence, you know, of justification to call, you know, everything fair under black unity. And I mean, you know, like, I don't hate black people. Like, I'm just saying this for the good and for the good and cause of what black culture needs to, you know, like, basically reform off of, or reform, you know, reform a better future for newer black people. Which I would say that what we need to do is that we need to really stop, you know, allowing, you know, this type of like, not like oppressive, but just bad influence rap music. Like, I'm just not trying to say bad rap music should still be here. I just think that you need to really have parents, you know, get down and get down and dirty on their children, you know, listening to fucking drill music along with fucking, I don't know, fucking, oh man. I'd probably say gang music, because it's technically the same thing, but it's like, you know, it's in different type of, you know, subtype genres. So, I mean, you got hip hop, you got, you know, drill, you got fucking, you got heart and soul, which that's something that a lot of people do like. But I mean, most of like the rap music nowadays is just, hey, you say something to me, then I kill you. So I think that's just really horseshit, because you have such a great, you know, opinion, but then your opinion gets thrashed by a bunch of dumb believers that think that they have power over you, which I just think that it's just so terrible, because nobody's not going to understand the true picture until it's over, which